Guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're back to work on the T-38 after the first couple outings of flying. Last couple days I've been, or a few days, I've been repainting my Fabao Panther and my FMS Tiger Cat. And those are basically done. So I'm back on the T-38 here. So next order of business is getting the cockpit finished with the camera and everything. So one of the things I wanted to do was to have an instrument panel that looked pretty good in the camera, and the camera isn't super high definition up close, so you do lose some detail, so you don't have to get anything too crazy for it to look cool. So what I've come up with, instead of just using a paper printout like this, which I actually checked with the camera, it didn't look too bad, honestly. I was almost going to do it, but I came up with this idea. So what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna spray glue this to the back side of this plastic, and then I'm gonna spray glue this on the back side and somehow stick it down without messing it up. And what that does is it creates the look of a panel, because you get like a glass effect where the gauges are at. And I don't know how much that's gonna get picked up on camera, but I don't know, I think it'll look pretty cool. So anyways, once I get that done, doing the rest of the cockpit won't be too big of a deal. It's just kind of getting everything in the front done up, and then I gotta dress the tub up a little bit. This is an image out of a flight simulator. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot on the side consoles. You got throttle up over here and some switches and stuff. I'm gonna try and replicate that like a little bit. Not a whole lot on the sides of the fuselage over here. So anyways, I'm gonna do what I can. And again, I don't want to get too crazy just because you don't get a ton of detail with the camera. So anyways, let's get this glued together and see how it turns out. Alright, honestly that turned out pretty slick. I've never actually done this before. I've just used paper cutouts, and I've done like handmade gauges and stuff that kind of look okay from a few feet. But honestly, this ain't bad. I mean, that's pretty much what you're gonna see out of the camera, so it's pretty cool. Stick it in the plane over here. So I do have a couple of the gauges are gonna be blocked. I might actually change how I do this, but anyways, that's pretty much what you're gonna be seeing out of the camera. So looks pretty convincing. I think with the goggles on, it'll look pretty sweet. So anyways, that was easy. Alright, so that turned out pretty freaking sweet. I mean, not bad, right? So I added a little visor over the top, some really thin plastic. So now I just gotta finish the tub off, make a camera mount, do the side consoles, paint all this. At some point I'm gonna get a pilot body and put legs and arms in here below the camera. So anyways, that's looking pretty sweet. Should look awesome in the air. Alright, so I've skipped ahead of you guys a little bit, but I've finished up the detailing on the cockpit. I got the camera installed. This is the Motion Sick. They call it the bag. It's the badass gimbal. I'm also using the Motion Sick head tracker called the Tally Ho. I just hooked that up and got it all working. That thing is super easy to use and works really well, so I'm stoked on that. So this is pretty much it for the detailing. I did some dry brushing around. So basically all the stuff is just like these switches here are just pieces of cut off control rod, basically like push rod material. I got some push pins. I got some random stuff. I got balsa block down here with a brass tube. I got this. I think this is the canopy lock. That's an aluminum tube with some tape wrapped around the end of it. Just lots of little whatever I can find that looks sort of like the real thing. I'm not going for perfection here. You're not even going to be. Most of the stuff you won't see for the most part during normal flying, especially during formation flying, because you'll be looking out the windows almost the whole time, up and off to the sides. But anyways, it's there for ambience, I should say. So anyways, at some point I'll have some legs in here and arms, so that way he looks more realistic. I may just put pedals and the seat and be more like a flight sim, because usually in a flight sim they don't show the body, they shows all the cockpit, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with it. This is all done. Now I just need to install the canopies on here, trim them, and then paint the outsides. And I'm going to put a little cooling scoop on the side right here. I'm just going to cut a little opening into the window and bend the tab in, bend the plastic in, so the air can pass through here, and I'll have a little exit scoop on this corner back here so it cross flows, because this needs cooling air so it gets warm. But yeah, pretty happy with that. See, we got the reflection on the gauges, which looks really cool. I got my 3 in the green, obviously. Got my gear handle over there and the throttle levers and some more switches and stuff. Anyways, you don't get perfect detail with the camera, so a lot of that just kind of washes out. So I'm not going to get too carried away with it, just because, like I said, you're not really going to notice it that much, but it's there. Anyways, pretty happy. Now I gotta finish this dang thing. Alright, so I've actually added mirrors, which is pretty cool. You can actually, I set them up so that you can see the wingtips through the camera, so. It's still hard to see, but anyways. The wings are on the plane right now, but there's my Panther back there. Anyways, pretty cool. I saw someone on Facebook had done it with like plastic mirror, so obviously I've made a mess over here, but I used a heavy duty blade to kind of like scribe the lines, and I broke it out with pliers. This one got messed up, but anyways, I hot glued them in. I can always take them out and redo them if I have to. But anyways, pretty stoked on this cockpit. I think it looks pretty sweet. So in the camera, it looks better because it's not as high definition as my phone camera. So anyways, so nice. Got to get the canopies on here and paint the trim around the frames, and that is 100% done. I got all the radios working with the gimbal and everything. That's working totally sweet with the new head tracker. I still got to finish the exhaust, and then my decals should be here this week for the last couple of decals that are missing on it. Not really a whole lot to this airplane as far as decals go. Thinking about putting panel lines on it with like a Sharpie or a pen. Andy did that on his F-16. It looked pretty sharp, so might give that a shot. Just because it's so plain. I mean, it's not plain, but it is. So it needs something. It needs a little something, something. But anywho, pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna get these canopies on. All right, so I think we'll cut the video off there, keep it short. I got the windows on. I need to put some vinyl around the edges and then paint it to match the blue for the frame here. Besides that, I'll show you guys my little cooling scoops that I did here. So air should come in this side. We got a little lip to catch the air, and then obviously you can bend in here. And then the idea was to actually pull the air through with this side. So this is larger than that side. This little flap right here should create a nice little low pressure area, which will cause a suction force out of here. And the only place for it to get air really is from this side. So should work in theory. It doesn't need a lot of cooling air, it just needs some air movement. So should be fine. We'll see. we'll do a flight or two normally, but with Bentley on the goggles or whatever, make sure that we don't get any shut-offs or anything like that. So anyways, cockpit turned out pretty cool. Got the mirrors in there. Looks pretty good from out here with the glass on it. So anyways, I think we'll end it there. I'm just gonna finish that up tonight, maybe get the metal done on the back. Still haven't decided on how I'm gonna do the afterburner cones yet, so we're still held up on that a little bit, but I mean, the plane's pretty much ready to fly again, so I'll get those two things finished up tonight, and that'll probably be it on this thing for a little bit. At some point I'm going to paint the bottom blue, the same blue as this, and I think that's it. Just got to make the exhaust. Like I said earlier, I might do some panel lines or something, but pretty much now it's just going to be flight time, getting some flight hours on it, getting practiced up, get the radio fine-tuned, really get some good flight time on it, doing FPV, so that way when Andy and I meet up to actually practice together, we'll be well versed with the airplane, not just flying formation. So, and then I gotta do some like little details, like I'm gonna add the pitot tube, and there's a pretty good size antenna down here in the nose. It's a pretty prominent feature on the plane. All the Thunderbirds had a really big antenna back here on the dorsal, and I might add that. The problem with something like that is it break off easy, so it need to be like on a magnet or something that I can slide into place once I put it together at the field, because it's just, if I make it permanent, it's just gonna get broken off. I can already tell you that. So but anyways, we're getting there. That's pretty much it for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cockpit. I think it looks pretty sweet, pretty stoked on it. Can't wait to fly it in FPV. So anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one.